team, guys, but going up against Toxicity. Now, here's the problem about the scenario that we're facing right now, guys. The scenario is Team Gaes, they are looking to be very unstoppable in that, I would say, is the stomped round brought to you by the other team early on just now that we watched. So I would really want to see what's Toxicity's answer towards this kind of team, where we know that Team Gaes actually knows how to play this game very well in terms of mechanically. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the game we've been waiting for. In fact, this is the finals where we'll be determining the finalists who will be representing ITE Central. And let's hop into game number 1, drafting for the first game. Let's hop into it, guys. And with that said, we're hopping into this game, Team Gaes and Lightborn. Don't forget, Team Gaes going up against Toxicity with Toxicity on the red team, with blue team will be Team Gaes. Once again, guys, Team Gaes, they really know how to do this proper, so I really want to see how Toxicity being able to probably outdraft this. I would say that Team Gaes, Toxicity kind of knows what's going on in terms of the matches. I probably think that we watch these matches as well. And don't forget, once you recognize some of the game names that you see here, you probably know their play matchup as well. So immediately, Toxicity is going to respond with the Link ban and the Claw ban. I totally agree with that. Team Gaes just doesn't want to see Esmeralda and Loi. Totally understandable as well because Loi, she does have a lot of long range damage in terms of the burst as well. And if you get caught up and in a choke point with Loi, that's definitely not going to be very nice and dandy. Speaking of which, Fried Pigeon is going to be picking the Uranus for themselves. Trust me, Uranus right now, definitely a very good pick in my opinion, and definitely up the first hero that Team Gaes is going to be catching, because don't forget, Team Gaes not with the Uranus, not only you have the tank, you have the annoying factor, you also have the damage coming out for Uranus. So very nice pick coming out from Uranus, our Team Gaes player right here. Other than that, Toxicity going for the Atlas and the Kaja definitely means something, because they want to make sure that they're safe, their core is safe as well. The Kaja being the flexible pick right here, and the Atlas with the Fatal Links, hopefully being able to keep their core extremely safe. Now both teams not revealing their core as of yet. They're picking more of like their meat shields, their fighters, their offlaners. And speaking of which, Team Gaes is going for the Jawhead and the Angela. Don't forget, we saw how effective that Angela and Uranus combo. Technically, it turned Uranus into an unstoppable, and basically you can out-survive almost everything that you throw at Uranus. And while Uranus is basically unkillable and unstoppable, he's going in after your core, and that is something that Toxicity have to draft against. As well will be the pick for the fighter coming out from Toxicity instead. Now, with the X-Ball, you expect to have a lot of lane clearing. Kind of have to go up against, I would say this time around would be going up against the Jawhead instead, because I would see that the Uranus will be used for the tank in the mid lane. But maybe that's too offlaner, so that's a problem about if you draft a Uranus. That's how unflexible a Uranus can be. But speaking of which, right now we're hopping into the banning phase. Toxicity banning out the Kufra almost immediately, which means that they just don't want. There's too many lockdowns for Team Gaes already. Well, we have the Jawhead, which means that eliminating the lockdown chances for Team Gaes. Speaking of which, the ban for Team Gaes would be the Cho. Very, I don't know why, but makes sense in the sense that, look, both sides already have their fighters decked out. Now is the time for them to review their core, and do note that they're actually taking a very sweet time in terms of picking their core. Kimi will be the core for Toxicity, somewhat mobile, but being able to maintain that distance and landing fire, that is definitely something that they're going to look for. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't go for the Grandeur instead, because I would identify that the Grandeur and the Atlas one more combo is real. So core Team Gaes also picking these two. I think they really know what's going on, and they are actually very experienced in terms of tournaments like this. Lancelot will be the pick for Team Gaes, and the Grok as well. And don't forget, Grok also deals quite a bit. Oh, sorry, no. They're not going to go for the Grok. They're going to go for the Hylos instead in terms of the sustain. But on the other side, Toxicity going for a Popo and Koopa and a Kimi. So that would mean like it's a double MM kind of matchup. So with that said, I would say that their pushing power is gonna be very, very good. So in this kind of matchup, Team Gaes do know that they don't really have a marksman. They don't really have a proper, like I would say, damage dealer or constant DPS. Yes, they have a Uranus who can actually output some sort of damage, but mostly there's a lot of burst damage. There's a lot of tankiness coming up from Team Gaes. We shall see how they'll be able to pull this off. But hold on a second. If you just look on the other end, Toxicity though, they have 2 marksmen on their side. It means that I would say they are looking for those kind of push. They're kind of looking for tower push. They don't really want to drag on this game as long as possible. But I think Team Gaes is just having a little bit of fun, matching up, putting up a lot of like those tanky heroes-ish going in. So definitely looking into how they're going to pull this off mechanically. Don't forget, these are very good teams in terms of their mechanical skills. But I would say something that I have to point out is I personally feel that Team Gaes' mechanical skill is definitely better than Toxicity based on the game I watched with Toxicity going up against Divine early on just now. But maybe I'm saying it a little bit too early because this game number 1 is going to give us the insights of both of these teams. How are they going to match each other? Are they going to be able to match up in terms of the aggression? Because we saw that Toxicity also know how to pull off that early game aggression. So, you know, with that said, with that theory crafting said, let's hop into game number 1 of the finals for today for ITE College Central. This game, this match, this series will determine who is going to be representing ITE College Central, and definitely going to be a bragging right for them. So, Team Gaes versus Toxicity really boils down to the early game aggression. Those who actually have the better early game aggression will definitely come up victorious, but we're not really sure because Toxicity, maybe they can play from behind. We're not really sure as well. But do note that Team Gaes, they do not have constant DPS. Well, technically the Uranus, but I really won't put my money on that DPS that Uranus can put out. And don't forget, there's a lot more, too many tanky heroes coming out from Team Gaes. Yes, that's the Jawhead running high and dry, but that's definitely gonna get bullied during laning phase by our Xbox player. So definitely not looking very nice in the early game. A lot of survivability though from Team Gaes, so it really depends whether Toxicity can really out damage that. Oh, Juju looking very low right here. Kimi is actually laying down some chemicals, some paintball on towards Hylos, and almost immediately they are forced to disengage, respecting each other already. Toxicity though, I'm not sure they can take this fight. Right now, their core is not up to the stable point where they can actually dish out the damage. They need to farm. But Team Gaes though, their sustainability items is definitely gonna be, this gonna take less gold as possible. Okay, Juju coming in with the flank, but Inuka flickering away almost immediately once Popo and Koopa pops out. We lost here. Angela is looking for some CC, some locking down of Toxicity, but Toxicity is not giving them any chance. So, which means that at the same time, don't forget, the Uranus is on the other side of the jungle. Kaja is choosing to ignore the Uranus. Oh, that's not a very good place that you want to be. Looking to actually focus the damage on Juju instead. Juju, with the help of Atlas, the slow is definitely going to allow Juju to walk out of there. Brad looking for some angle, and I don't think there's any angles for you. I really like how Atlas is actually protecting Juju and the core as well as possible. The positioning for Juju and JR7 is really impeccable. But hold on a second, speaking about the positioning right here, Brett ignored that positioning, dive in and picked up that first blood, picked up that Juju kill, and that is not looking very good for the first game because look, that is going to give a good gold lead towards Team Gaes as well. And speaking of which, I don't really like the fact that the kill went in the hands of Angela, but Brett definitely set that up. Brett actually knows that, hey, I really don't care about your positioning. I know that you're hiding behind, and it really boils down to Burn. Will Burn be able to protect the soft underbelly of Toxicity monster, the Toxicity core proper? But we really have to hold our breath right here, making sure that Toxicity's core farm up as much as possible. So which means that Team Gaes, they are actually playing, I would say they're playing up against a time bomb. They really need to try to finish this game as early as possible because yes, you can see right now Lancelot is bullying the other Toxicity a lot, but they don't really have much damage output coming up from Team Gaes. Whereas Toxicity, they have the Popo and Koopa, they have the Export, who technically can deal a bit of damage, and don't forget the Kimi, who is going to become a late game monster. So the only chance that Team Gaes actually have is in the mid game, and we shall see right now as Burn is trying to go right back against, trying to protect the soft underbelly as well, with the fatal links going down. But the problem is that the Lancelot is going to take down the Kajal and clear up the Popo and Koopa as well. So it's a 2-4-2, but the onslaught is not over yet as Brad jumped right in, cleared out that Kimi. Therefore, the core of Toxicity is gone, giving that gold lead as well towards Team Gaes. That's not really good, and that is a very open mid lane turret, which I think Brad decides to go against to clear up the turtle instead. But hey, that's fine. Not only they get the mid turret, they also get that turtle. So that is not looking good for Toxicity in the early game. Like I said, guys, early game is very important, especially facing out with team up against Team Gaes. I think Brad right now with the blue buff and the red buff in the bag, they can do a lot of damage. And don't forget, Lancelot can also go into the soft underbelly. So it really boils down to whether Bromos and Burn can protect that soft underbelly. And the problem arises where, you see, if you let a Uranus out, if you don't care about the Uranus, they're gonna go in. Oh, Brad, the Kaja drag, Divine Judgment, finally dragging Brad down the line, and which means that Toxicity, this is Toxicity chance to actually go all in with Popo and Koopa up as well, trying to dish out some damage. But I think Fried Pigeon is tanking for the team for a lot, unable to catch Angela as well, because don't forget, once Lancelot for Team Gaes goes down, where is the damage from Team Gaes? So Toxicity, now they know, once you take down the Lancelot, there will be not much damage coming out from Toxicity. All they have to do is sustain. Now, I would expect a Necklace of Durance coming out from Toxicity, because they're gonna need it if they're going up against, first of all, an Angela or a Uranus as well. Angela is going to go down, which means that Heart Guard is not available. Therefore, they know they can actually take this fight against Hylos. Hylos is going to go with the Glorious Pathway straight in the back line. But hold on a second, Uranus coming in from the another side, catching Popo and Koopa off guard. The last Insanity will be used there to take down the Hylos, but those are not your main characters of Team Gaes. The main characters are the Lancelot, which is still healthy, and using an offlaner who doesn't really need that much gold to take down a Popo and Koopa, which is kind of like the main damage, or which can contribute in the damage for Toxicity, is not ideal. Don't forget, Popo and Koopa needs the gold as well. Right now, he's being used as as a support and offlaner, but in the late game, when gold doesn't really matter anymore, all of the items are almost the same. This is where Popo and Koopa will become that hidden core as well. Right now, Team Gaes rotating towards the turtle, which is super open, by the way, because look at how the lanes are pushed up against Toxicity. But Toxicity kind of knows what's going on. Kimi will be going in, removing Angela from the equation, and Kaja with the Divine Judgment, I bet, taking down the Hylos as well. However, Toxicity, I don't think they actually took down the turret. Don't forget, Fried Pigeon doesn't really care. Lancelot actually also managed to get out of that alive as well, and Toxicity immediately rotating down. Look at that bravery coming out from our Lancelot player right here, doesn't really care, and almost immediately, as if it's super time, the Angela Heart Guard going down, wiping up Toxicity core at the back line, and Atlas is forced to retreat. Brad is just looking for, oh my goodness, barely missing that that Atlas who's retreating right there. We lost, scouted out, the red buff of Toxicity is up, immediately go in. I don't think that fire missiles is going to help you out right there, Fire, and you have to back off because Brad is all over the place. He can burst you down almost immediately. Now, really have to rely on that. I think that was Divine Judgment being casted, and you can see that the Thorn Rose going down. That was a outplay, I would say. Burn going in, capturing two members of Team Gaes. The problem is that there's not much follow-up coming up from Toxicity, so therefore the Lancelot is still alive, and Jawhead will be taking down the Atlas as well. Okay, Brad, a little bit of trouble right here with the stun for Popo and Koopa, but I don't think the damage can reach all the way at the back line. Look at Fried Pigeon putting up so much sustain and so much meat shield, and with the help Heart Guard as well. This means that this Fried Pigeon right here can go around, not only slowing you down, and it has a lot more shields, and therefore Toxicity without the Atlas at the front line who just got respawned, they don't really have any way to deal with the siege that Team Gaes is putting up. But look at that, Fried Pigeon is just going in at the backline. Burn is leaving the backline a little bit too vulnerable right here. But the fact that Fried Pigeon is allowed to go in at a very good angle to deny, to wedge that, to prevent the toxicity terms of the teamwork as well. That's going to toss the teamwork out of the gate. So that is the power of Uranus, not only just in terms of beefiness, not in terms of the meat shield, it's also about the psychology that you're playing. Look at that, Team Guy is just taking down turrets one by one. They don't really care. But okay, hold on a second, the Fatal Links landing on both Lancelot and Angela, and Kimmy is just gonna burn down the Lancelot almost immediately, literally melted down, leaving Fried Pigeon. Look at that, all that damage on top of Fried Pigeon, right? Though not enough damage is needed. Fried Pigeon is still standing and being able to actually dish down so much damage to burn, literally burn down, that is utterly insane. And not to forget, the waves are pushed up against Toxicity. Yes, Toxicity has more damage, but in terms of outplay, it really boils down to the Lancelot. If Lancelot will be able to, you know, assassinate either the Popo and Koopa or the Kimi, that is going to be Toxicity's weak point. Now, it really boils down to either is what we saw, Burns, Fatal Links, as well as the Divine Judgment to punish the Lancelot who is coming over to take down Toxicity's soft underbelly. Oh, Maximum Charge just gonna be missing out what we lost right here, but that doesn't really matter. As you can see, I think Toxicity is looking to stabilize this problem. Xbot is trying to push down the bottom lane, but I think he has to go back to the top lane already very soon in order to meet that aggression. Oh, Ejector going down, but Burn with the Ejector state, it doesn't really matter, because right now I think Team Guys is just buying time. The Lord is just available, but I think Toxicity also know about this. Look at that cheeky Jawhead playing there. That is an assassin Jawhead. Look at the items, Blade of BOD and the Blades of Hephaestus as well. That means a lot of burst damage coming out. Look at that. Kaja almost immediately burned down, but he drags Jawhead down and be able to get swapped out by the Xbot, who popped the last Insanity, melted it down with the help of Kimi and Popo and Koopa as well. This means that Fried Pigeon and Brett is still alive though, but this opens up to a whole lot of pain for Team Guys. Toxicity will be able to take down this Lord, perhaps, but don't forget, Brett has the Retribution. Brett is just standing there with the ultimate ready as well. I think you'll be seeing a ultimate to jump in and try to smite, but the Lord has been retributed by Lancelot, and therefore stealing the Lord away from Toxicity and allowing the game to be dragged on a lot further. But it's a very good timing by Brett, but oh my goodness, that almost went so well for Toxicity, and that Retribution coming out from Brett, stealing away the Lord, that is just gonna knock Toxicity a little bit. All that hard work that Burn has used and the Kaja protecting the soft underbelly just all went down the sink. Look at that, the ultimate and the Frozen Thorn kind of just there to pull in people. But okay, finally, speaking of pull, the Fatal Links actually connects with 3 other people. I think Team Guys actually out damaged, but don't forget, the Lord is marching down. They're just buying time on the other side. They have a lot of meat. Look at Fried Pigeon, he's still in the thick and thin of Toxicity. Even though kill count, yes, Toxicity is ahead, they cannot sustain the team Guys. They don't really need a DPS as of now. As you can see, Lord right here is being cleared up, but don't forget, the waves are still being pushed. The Uranus is clearing out the blue buff, taking away the blue buff from Toxicity, and of course Jawhead is the lingering threat, the assassin, the hidden assassin, with the ejector force coming out, with the wombo combo ejector force coming out from there, and with the the high and dry. That is a assassin Jawhead build. Okay, Fire a little bit caught off guard right there, being popped by Immortality, using the last Insanity to get out of dodge. That is actually kind of smart. But then Kaja actually pulls Fried Pigeon back with the help of Kaja, unable to burst the Uranus player down. But then Kimi is actually trying to hold that, but there's not much follow-up because the Kimi is actually trying to hold line for the kind of like a two-prong wave coming down from the top and the mid. So Toxicity being forced up to their own core. They have to protect this core, this 3 turrets at all costs. But the weird part is you're looking at 9 versus 17 kills, but the gold lead though, 4K in Team Guys is 4K ahead. So that really boils down to the fact that, you know, I don't really care you kill me, but look at that. they really don't need that damage. They're playing the wave game. They know how to manipulate the wave. They know how to, you know, rotate as well as possible, trying to attract the attention away from Toxicity. Toxicity have to hold that trigger. They cannot go in super greedy, because once they overextend, you will see a Uranus going and shoving the waves up to your face. Or if you allow that, if you went ahead to try to take down that Uranus, he's gonna buy so much time for Team Gaes to actually... Okay, Hard Guard is being cast onto to actually rotate out of there. But hey, that is a wave push for the bottom lane. So now Team Gaes is just sieging up. They have total map control. Toxicity is literally locked up in their own city of 3 turrets. What can they do? Okay, Uranus catching up the Fion right here, but Fion, the armor goes off. I don't think that he can use the last Insanity if the armor goes off as well. So really, Xbox is delaying the game as much as possible. Toxicity is just playing the long game, hoping Team Gaes actually slips up, makes a mistake, or hopefully catching up the Lancelot, who with the Divine Judgment, because don't forget, there's a lot more lockdown compared to Team Gaes as well. So they're just taunting each other right here, trying to get them to make a mistake. So it just depends on who actually makes the first mistake, and whoever makes that first mistake is going to collapse onto the team almost immediately. Or maybe that mistake is just a bait, because right now Team Gaes has the eyes on the Lord. This maybe gives Toxicity a bit of a breather, but it's a very obvious Lord. They know that they're going to get this Lord in order to have more pushing power to penetrate into the Toxicity defenses right here. But hold on a second, look at that. Fried Pigeon is just buying some time, and Vision as well. Being in the middle, doesn't really care. Hard Guard is going to be used. Atlas kind of knows that they really want to take the Lord, and look at that, ejector stage just to scout out the Lord. But the Jawhead, really disciplined right there, not going for the one-ball combo. But at the same time though, look at Fried Pigeon dishing out so much damage to the back line of Toxicity right here, and the core is being swept down. 3 heroes down for Toxicity, and at the same time, okay, the Lord went into the hands of Team Gaes as well. So the Atlas sacrificing the core in order to get the Lord doesn't work, and therefore I would say that this might be game number 1 for Team Gaes. Guys, you don't really need a lot of DPS. All you need is to know how to manipulate the wave as well as possible. Therefore, this is Exhibit A right here. A little bit say a high greet, nice meet and greet right here between Juju and Fried Pigeon. Look at that, just healing out from the damage of the minions wave right here, as they're just waiting for the Lord to march in. It feels like Toxicity feels like they're giving up of this position right here. Look at that, a marksman going up against a tank. Usually a marksman in a game of paper scissors stones, usually a marksman should be a little bit better as compared to a tank, but that tank is already fed. He knows what he's doing. But with the help but for Toxicity side, I think they can take down this Lord quickly, and that is their goal as well. So what Team Gaes have to do in the meantime is to distract them. Look at Fried Pigeon right here. That is the distraction they're luring, because every damage that's dealt onto him while he takes down Kimmy as well is not damage dealt to the Lord or any one of the Team Gaes members. Last Insanity being popped right here, but Lancelot is staying safe right behind, looking for an opportunity to go in. The Lord potentially get cleaned up, but I don't think Team Gaes needs the Lord at all, as they'll be walking over Toxicity's core, and GG. Game number 1 goes in the hands of Team Gaes. Oh my goodness, that is legit scary for Toxicity, getting a taste of what the game of what Lightborn felt in the game in the previous match as well, and in fact drafting on a very odd draft. They have too, like I said in the early game, during the matchup, they have too many tanks. But Team Gaes showing off right there, they don't really need the tank. Look at that. Okay, hold on a second. That is a 39% damage coming out from our Uranus player, instead being able to out damage and out sustain almost all the side of Toxicity, even though they went for a dual marksman setup, they are unable to clear the Uranus, who is actually showing so much problems, giving them so much problems as well. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, do hold on, because I really want to see what Toxicity will be able to deal with Team Gaes. Team Gaes definitely, I feels like they are on a different level right here. But you know what? We shall soon find out as we're hopping in game number 2. But before we hop into game number 2, we're going to a short break once again. Do stay tuned, as we'll be going into game number 2 almost immediately after the short break.
JBL presents the sounds of victory. JBL Quantum Gaming headsets, because every sound matters.
You got the best of me. You got the best of me. 눈을 구워, 눈을 참, 난 너만.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is J07 and you are watching the finals for ITE College Central. We saw that first game where we saw Team Gaes doesn't really require any damage and just shows all you have to know is know how to rotate well, know how to push the waves, play the waves, and I would say that very sick Lord Steel brought to you by our, well, truly beloved Lancelot player from Team Gaes just brought that game, just flipped that game. I would say not say flip that game because it really boils down to how Team Gaes actually knows how to rotate, knows how to push the waves, and even though the Lord for Toxicity is just going to buy a bit of time for Toxicity as well, and it also bangs in whether Toxicity knows how to ride that wave. But for Team Gaes, they know how to ride that wave, and we, not to forget, we saw that 39% damage output coming up from that Uranus. Someone please ban that Uranus. But if you ban that Uranus though, it opens up to a lot more problems. So is it something that they want to work towards to? Because right now, like I said in the previous matches, we have come to a point in time where there's not enough bans to go around. We need to target ban these very problematic heroes such as the Uranus. So really have to be careful for Toxicity, our Toxicity team right here. Alright, word from the production team that the game is already ready. Let's hop into game number 2 with Toxicity versus Team Gaes once again. So what is Toxicity going to be doing about that annoying Uranus? Okay, Ling is going to get banned almost immediately. I totally agree, but this opens up, are you going to ban a Claude or are you going to ban a Uranus? But in the meantime, Team Gaes can just probably ban whoever they want. They can ban an Esmeralda, which we always see, or a Kaja as well, because I think they realized that the Kaja is the one that kind of delayed the game a little bit too much, because a Kaja knows how to, once the Kaja knows how to protect the backline. All the Kaja has to do is, if you have someone who knows how to dive in, you just have to press one button, Divine Judgment, you lock down that carry who is trying to get to your backline, and you're safe. So I would say that Kaja played a tremendous role in making sure the core of Toxicity, which is the Kimi as well as the Popo and Koopa, alive, making them staying alive as long as possible. Alright, Loi is going to be banned as well. Oh, that is not going to be looking very good. This means that Uranus is super open unless Toxicity take that Uranus first. So Team Gaes kind of know about this. So maybe they'll be banning the Uranus instead. But I would say that Uranus Angela one more combo there with a Heart Guard going in to protect, to give more CC towards the Uranus, and also the provided more like health shield for the Uranus is just utterly, in my opinion, currently broken right now. The Claude will be banned right now, and like I said, Toxicity gonna go pick up that Uranus almost immediately. Fright Pigeon, Team Gaes is going to go for the Lancelot once again because we saw how flexible Lancelot can be. In my opinion right now, Lancelot is kind of like a Ling, where you can jump around, will be mobile, you want to go in and all in at the back end as possible. But with the best part about Lancelot is the fact that they can go slightly immortal. Okay, hold on a second, this time around they're going to see the Uranus and swap out into a Baxia. Ouch, it feels like they kind of know that this is going to be happening almost immediately with Esmeralda, which means that Uranus shields doesn't really matter anymore. Feels like Toxicity is gonna pick up that that same strategy that Team Gaes actually did. They went for Angela, and now even they're teasing a Zask as well. But I don't think it was basically Toxicity's team composition is almost immediately countered. You have Maxia on the other team who is gonna be able to reduce their regeneration effectiveness, and not to forget the Esmeralda who can just ignore shield. So it doesn't really matter anymore. The Heart Guard is almost rendered useless, and Toxicity going to go for the try and true method, which is the Atlas. But oh, the Valet are going to be picked up by Team Gaes as well. That is, I would say, accounting for both Uranus and the Atlas as well, because all Valet has to do is use that Searing Torrent to push away the Uranus that's trying to close into your core, or even your Atlas who's trying to go in an ejected state, trying to actually catch your team members in a fatal link. Right now, the ban goes in, and that this time around it feels like Team Gaes is just outpicking Toxicity almost immediately. The ban for Team Gaes would be the Kimi. Yeah, makes sense, because right now, since it's a lot more close range, because Esmeralda really relies on that jumping in, Toxicity there Really good banning that land slot away, which means that your core will be safer. Okay, Team Gaes going go for the carry. Yes, makes sense, and oh my god, that's also another count. It feels like the first 4 heroes being picked by Team Gaes just literally counted toxicity. You have Carry, literally the tank killer down there as well, being able to dish out so much damage. You have the Esmeralda who ignores the shield, pushing away the Atlas and the Uranus that's going in, and not to forget the anti-regenerative capabilities of the Baxter as well. So toxicity gonna pick Bruno instead. I feel like they're just being outpicked already. Oh, but toxicity though, picking out that Selena, not really my idea, because they kind of already have a support character in a sense. Well, Selena is a support character in the late game. I would have liked it if they went for an X-Borg instead, but Team Guys will be picking up the X-Borg. Or maybe perhaps a Jawhead, because I think we forgot about the Jawhead right here, guys. Like, the Jawhead is wide open and probably gonna be able to take down and target onto Carry. We can see the cleanse, basically. Look at all that battle spells, all green across the board. Yes, with the Revitalize and the Purify. They just don't want to see the they don't want to get actually Fatal Links by the Atlas as well. So like I said, it's really it's just it feels like Team Gaes just won this team drafting phase already, but we shall see, guys. Drafting phase only wins you a third of the game. The other part, the remaining 2/3 of the game relies on how good you actually execute the theory that we actually said. Well, everything is nice when you put on paper, guys, like legit, but in terms of the execution though, like being able to be there at the right time, at the right place, that takes a lot of team communication as well. And not to forget, Team Guys already proven themselves being able to they know how to rotate the map, they know how to play with the waves. If you try to rotate to the other, I'll just have to push the wave. And don't forget, this is a game where kills doesn't really matter. It's all about taking down objectives, taking down the turrets, taking down the blue buffs or the red buffs, taking down the turtle or the lord when it spawns. These are the game winning factors. But hold on a second, as we're hopping into game number 2, guys. This is gonna be the game for this finals, as we'll be watching Team Gaes. Would they be able to win and represent ITE Central in the Campus Legends 2020 during the group stage, or would it be Toxicity who will be bringing us to game number 3? This game will show us all that. Immediately we can see that we are looking at a 1-3-1. Uranus going to go up against the Esmeralda. Ooh, that is kinda not ideal in my opinion, because like, look, the Esmeralda is like I said, counters the Uranus. Okay, to be honest, between the matchup between Uranus and Esmeralda, it really depends. Esmeralda can out damage a Uranus, but a Uranus can out-sustain that Esmeralda damage. But hey, we're back into game again. Immediately we're looking at the blue buff being contested right here, but I think that the blue Toxicity actually picked up the blue buff, so it was still safe. Okay, but still that took that Atlas took down a lot of damage though in order to secure that blue buff for our Bruno player right here instead. But down at the bottom lane, we're looking at X-Borg going up against the Angela. Well, Angela do have a better rotation. She can rotate out almost immediately, but I think she's gonna get bullied out of the lane almost immediately. Instead, she immediately recalled back to base to refresh. Now, Juju's Absol Traps and Absol Arrows is going to be very crucial. This Absol Trap is going to be providing the vision and of course the CC necessary in order to take down one of the carries from Team Guys. They have to try to take down Brett, who is the carry, or at least a Valer as well, in order to make all this kind of thing work. Okay, we see that Toxicity kind of knows what's going on. I feel like both teams kind of on par this time round. And ooh, very nice Absol Arrow right in the face of Valer, and this means that carry ultimate is going to be engaged, and this is a go as the first blood going to be going down for X-Bot off this screen right here. And Team Guys is looking a bit softer right now, barely manages to run away. That Baxia though, the Bruno with the ultimate, is gonna be able to force that basically Team Gaes cannot clump up, basically maintain that social distancing required in order to counter that ultimate Bruno ultimate. Speaking of which, they're just gonna disperse this meeting, gonna go back to farming up that lane. But the first blood, probably a X-Bot trying to outplay the Angela, but it kind of bit back in the face of the screen right here. Okay, the blue buff is not going to be going up yet, but I think right now Team Gaes is looking for another play right here. Baxia is just jumping over walls, trying to get to burn, and definitely contesting this red buff. That is definitely required. Oh, Absol Arrow stealing away that red buff. Very nice Absol Arrow by our Selena player right here. I did not expect that. It's probably like that one last ditch effort that, you know what, I don't think I can catch it, but hey, it works. If it works, it works. And Team Gaes is almost going directly to take down the turtle, pushing that gold lead a little bit ahead. Okay, I think Carry is on the case right now, taking down that Angela, putting more gold in that pocket, which she needs as a carry. But I feel like that Bruno should be online a lot earlier as compared to the carry right here. Okay, right now they're looking for a kill right here for Esmeralda. Esmeralda tries to survive with the ultimate, but I don't think that's gonna work, as it's gonna get kicked down by Bruno, melted down. And in fact, Angela actually got that kill again. I don't know why. But anyways, this means that I don't know why Uranus actually did not stay in lane, try to push the lane, because I feel like Toxicity, they know they cannot win in a straight up fight. They have to actually, you know, try to split push, try to clear off as much objectives as possible and make sure, but on the same time, and other side of the screen, Selena, a bit of trouble, get taken down by Carry. Carry is just going ham. Bruno, no, I don't think he can actually get out of the way even with the help of Heart Guard, get busted down by Carry as well as Baxia. Baxia is just going to look for more blood though. The Valier come in with the Searing Torrent. No, I don't think Searing Fireball, sorry. Stunning down, locking down the Angela who's trying to escape, and giving the kill again to Brett. And that's a 3-0-1 carry. And with that said, I think Team Gaes are definitely dominating in the early game with 2k gold lead, and just, I don't know, they really need to, Toxicity really need to find a way to catch that carry off guard. Well, I think that's, and while we're focusing on the top side just now as we're looking at the Esmeralda, I feel like the fact that Selena actually got onto, caught the carry off guard, but the combo did not go on, and therefore it just fell apart. But speaking of which, the flicker is going to be used to prot that last insanity, but Fright Pigeon overextending a little bit. I think that is a very bad gamble coming from our Xbox player, but Brett is on the case, rescuing Fright Pigeon away from that demise, and Fright Pigeon almost immediately rotated back, trying to get as much gold as possible. And Burn having a little bit of trouble right here. I don't think the Fatal Link is going to go down as of yet, and it's not actually online, but Bruno unable to clear anyone. Yes, actually Bruno got down the Baxia. And well, Baxia is not the main thing, and not only that, they actually got the blue buff onto the carry as well, taking away the blue buff from the Bruno, which kind of requires a mana if you ask me. And just Toxicity doesn't have an answer towards this aggression coming out from Team Gaes. Look at that carry just light wheeling down the Uranus immediately down, and right under the turret. It feels like they really just outpick and outdraft Toxicity, being countered almost by every single hero on Team Gaes field. And I think that's just very hard for Toxicity to come back and bring us back to game number 3. With Valier pushing away to maintain that distance, pushing Toxicity, making sure that they stay away from the carry. But I think carry is just super ahead right now, and not to forget, allowing this emblem, once she get a kill, she actually get, finally a Fatal Link's coming in, but the Valier is the one gonna get caught. The Bruno gonna go down, as well as the Valier melting each other down. But hold on a second, Carry is still in the fight as well, taking both of the hero of Toxicity down, and Ryan and Angela right here just is the only one left standing. I don't think they have any answer towards these aggression. I don't think that they can actually take down the carry at this state of time where she is super farm, and she's out for blood with no care. Look at that monster kill coming out. Uranus, even though we saw how powerful the Uranus is in the hands of Team Gaes, but that's not going to happen. And hold on a second, it feels like, oh no, the Absol Arrow did kind of land, but no, the Absol Trap did kind of land, but Brett is just unstoppable with dual buff over there right now, and no, Green do anything. not being able to do anything. Toxicity literally melted down by the carry as well, as Miranda putting a little bit of distance between Toxicity and Team Gaes' carry, as while carry is doing all the hard pushing. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not looking good for Team Toxicity. Yes, they can catch out that Baxia, but Brett is there pushing down the turret as soon as possible. Okay, the Valère got caught by the Absol Trap, but hey, that's not the main point. The main point is the fact that Team Gaes actually took down that bottom lane turret, opening up that Toxicity base already. Now, just guys, this is not looking good. 10k gold lead with a very fat carry. It feels like they really want to end this game. Look at that gold lead. That's 8k gold carry running around with an endless battle with a probably with the boots as well. Basically, she's all decked out. She's in fact going to more defensive build already. She's already got the damage in hand. She's just unstoppable, and I feel like Toxicity kind of knows this. And because look, they've got so many Purify on the other side of Team Gaes as well. What can Atlas do? Probably Atlas have to try to burn off the Purify. Okay, Fataline's going in, burning off Brett's burning off Brett's Purify, but that's not gonna be that's not the case, because all Brett has to do dash right into the enemy base and just try to pick off as much heroes as possible. That is a very fat carry right here. Look at that, literally melting down Toxicity member solo one by one, and look at that, triple kill going in the back of carry. Someone stop carry. She's going out of control, and literally I don't think Toxicity can defend up on this siege, as Team Gaes is taking down the turret one by one. Last Insanity is being used to actually try to distract this team, as Team Gaes will be your representative for phase 1 for ITE Central. And wow, that is really a decisive game. Feels like Team Gaes like, you know what, we had fun in game number 1, let's just clean up this. And with that, they drafted the carry as well as taking down the team one by one. And oof, that is not looking very good for our Toxicity team right here. I hope we actually get to see the match results, because it's really gonna be saying that, look, the gold lead right here is definitely gold. Look at that, 10,000 gold MVP right here. Well, respecting each other, saying each other that you're good, but look at the damage output coming up from Brett, 40%, melting down Uranus. Literally, I would say this draft literally outdrafted our Toxicity game player right here. The Valère is there to maintain distance between the Uranus and the Atlas. Juju trying to look for the angle, but even though she got the angle, there's too many Purifies from the other side. So it's really outdrafted and I don't really want to say that word, guys, but you get the point. And just I don't know, it feels bad for me, but hey, it's really nice that we get these kind of a team inside this Campus Legends, because not only that they won and they'll be representing ITE Central in phase 2, they also probably won the bragging rights. And don't forget, these people actually play among each other because they're from the same school, I hope. And just, I don't know what to say anymore, guys. Like, Team Gaes, we saw how powerful they are in this, and I don't know, will other tertiary education institutions have a dark horse will be able to match up with this aggression from Team Gaes? I'm really not really sure. But you know what, guys, other than these who are potential winners, you guys can also win as well. Hop onto our Instagram and Facebook to find out how you can actually walk away with a Samsung S10 Lite worth $848. All you have to do is being able to guess who the champion, like I said, the champion of Campus Legends, not just for ITE College Central, of course, but overall in the end of the month. And of course, these winners are battling up towards with a grand prize, guys. We just focus on the grand prize. The grand prize is a Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus and JBL Quantum 1 headset and $1,100 in terms of cash and scholarship. And this is basically what I would say Team Gaes have their eyes on. And not only that, they also walk away with the bragging rights, they walk away with the honor. And of course, you guys will be able to see out the prizes in front of the desk right here. You can see the Samsung phones, and in fact I'm using a Samsung Galaxy Tab. Thank you very much. You can see these are the things that they can actually walk away with. And don't forget, I'd like to thank JBL, our official audio partner and official mobile partner Samsung as well. Other than that, we also have Yahoo, One Play Sports, and of course the Red Bull, which I actually drank, and you can see right there in the front as well. But you know what? This has been super great, guys. We've seen very decisive wins. We've seen very strong opponents coming out from our ITE College Central players teams as well. What is other polytechnics? What are other ITEs going to do about it? Don't forget, these are probably going to be able to be viewed live. Sorry, not live, but viewed as a VOD online on Twitch or Facebook as well. And from there on, they can be able to dissect. So maybe Team Gaes is, but to be honest, Team Gaes is just their champion pool is a lot. They can play almost literally any heroes. They can bring in. They brought in a Lancelot. A Lancelot that's the main carry, and everyone be like super tanky and out sustained, and that is just something that we have to look out for. They're not revealing their cards as of yet. They're holding on because they know that other teams from other championships, other phase 1 parts, they'll be able to watch all these VODs as well. So really smart on their play. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, this has been very fun as well. I'm not really sure we're going to go on a short break as of yet, but do hold on, as we'll be actually giving you more information on how to win as all this kind of stuff. Yep, we're from the production team that we will be going on a short break, but ladies and gentlemen, do not go away from this Twitch channel or Facebook live that you're watching right now, as we'll be hopping into League of Legends tournaments later on, and before that we'll be heading over to Najwa, who will be giving out some freebies away, so you do want to stay tuned. My name is J07. It's been Grace casting for you guys, and hope to see you guys next week for the MLBB, same time, same place.